Hey guys, hello again. This is Avid Explorer making a new video. I'm gonna be doing my introductions like this now. I'm gonna start showing my face, walking a little bit, and then switching to the road because the way I like doing it is almost like we're basically taking a stroll together, like walking and talking, as opposed to me just having the camera pointing at my face and talking. I'd rather it being almost like an interactive thing where I walk and talk and you just join me for the walk and listen. I think people do things. There may be some folks who do things pretty similarly, but I don't think I've seen too many people do it that way. I haven't seen too many channels like that. So I'm just going to attempt it that way. I don't know that this video will be very long. But yes, welcome. I hope everything is going well for everyone. And yeah, as for myself, I'm improving. I'm getting better slowly. And if there is anyone sick among you, I hope you guys get better soon. Yeah, it seems there's a COVID strain going around. Since I got it late last year, and I'm seeing more and more people getting it this year, and lately in my family I've seen quite a few people getting it and stuff. So be safe, guys. Be safe and take care of yourselves. So for this video, I won't call it today's video because I may not be posting it on the same day that I take it. So this video, my topic is mainly about consciousness. It's like what your consciousness is. What is that thing that's within you that makes you who you are, the person that you are? Like some people may think of it as the soul, and I mean, you could call it whatever you want and stuff. I mean, I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. It's just a way to refer something that to, a way to refer to something that isn't very well explained, isn't very well understood, you know. Now, yeah, there may be some folks who may have a much better understanding of it than I do. I think I understand it a little bit better now. Before my life-threatening experiences earlier on this year, I had thought about it a little bit. I mean, maybe not just a little bit. I'd thought about it, and I mean, I think even before my thinking about it, I only had a very superficial understanding because until you have an actual experience, sometimes Yeah, sometimes like your perspective, the perspective that you have isn't very accurate. You don't quite have a good understand as good an understanding of it as you think you do. So just take this into consideration when thinking about anything. If you don't really experience it, you might think that you know, but I mean, all you know is just something very superficial, something that you read about. You haven't really experienced it. So yeah, I think for you to have any kind for you to claim to have an actual knowledge of something, like deep knowledge into something, you need to actually experience it. Because if not, it's just superficial. What you read, what somebody told you. So it's just my opinion, at least. And we're all free to have our own and stuff. And there's benefit to listening to everybody. I think some benefit to listening to everybody's perspectives, because I mean there is no one source of knowledge. We all have a little bit. We all experience things a little bit differently, and I mean while we may all be part of that same group called Homo sapiens, we there's uniqueness, right? And so different perspective from different perspectives, you could learn a lot. So yeah, don't just dismiss what other people say just because, well, just because you think you understand it already, because other perspectives, they may be just as valid as yours or even more valid than yours. Okay, so back to the topic, consciousness. As I was saying before, I had my life-threatening experience this year. I don't think I had a really good understanding of it. Like before this year, I had never fainted before, and while I have seen people faint, and I mean, I'm sure, I hope we all agree that somebody fainting is that person become the same as that person becoming unconscious. Because when you faint, you're unconscious for sure. I mean, I've seen people faint, but I've never really thought to go and ask them what it felt like. What was the experience like to actually faint? And never, I never actually got to that point. I mean, I've done some very strenuous exercise to the point where I've run short of breath, and I'm basically I basically have to go and sit it out because I am just completely out of breath. I'm dizzy, and if I don't stop to take a break, I would basically be hurting myself. So yeah, I've been close, but I've never actually passed. I well before this year, I never actually passed out before. So I couldn't say that I had any idea of how it felt to actually, for what that presence that's inside of me that makes me me, that presence that's actually communicating with you, whatever presence is controlling my body right now, that's inside my mind and making decisions, that's thinking and making decisions, and that's doing stuff, that wants to do this and wants to do that, and is actually being sustained by my my automatic movement, by like automatic processes that my body is actually doing. Yeah, what is that presence? Just think about that for a little bit. So let's think about it this way, like until you've actually experienced an event that causes this presence to actually be pushed outside of your brain or your mind, or pushed out of your body, like it's sometimes it you may take it for you may take it for granted that you might think that you understand what it is, but until you get the experience where it actually gets pushed out, and you become unconscious, and you're neither here nor there, you have no idea of what's going on, it gets pushed out, and then like you have no idea of for how long you were out, and all of a sudden you wake up like you were asleep, and then you're there again. This is almost what it felt like to me when I had my seizures. And like my seizures were extremely severe, guys. um, I still need to take several doctor's visits and to just check what the condition of my body is. But it's one thing at a time, because I guess I had a brain bleed, and I guess right now they're focusing on my brain and the blood clot healing, so that also that my I guess my brain is what's gonna be taking priority, and without it, it can I guess it would be a life altering problem. I probably would not even be able to remain alive if that part of it isn't fixed. And I mean, because of the brain bleed, and the, well, the brain bleed and the blood clot, it caused me to become an epileptic. I am actually epileptic at the moment. So and I have to take medication for me to not go into for me to not have seizures. And like there's times I remember what it like I actually remember what it felt like when the seizure was coming, and I mean when they adjust the dosage of my medication, I can actually feel the difference. I could tell the difference, and I could actually feel like I'm close to getting a seizure. And if you know what that means, getting a seizure is people who get seizures are actually unconscious when it happens. At least that's the way it was for me. It might be different for other people. Sometimes I suppose it is possible to be partially conscious and to have not a full, and there are different types of seizures. I haven't quite studied it. um, I guess there is something called a grand mal, and I'd say with the grand mal you are most likely fully unconscious, and I think there is something called a minimal in which you may be partially conscious for a time before becoming fully unconscious. So yeah, these things, there's an interesting thing, there is an interesting science to it, I believe. But where was I? Until you actually feel what it's like to become unconscious, you probably have very little perspective into what that presence in your body that makes you you is. You might be taking it for granted that you're just you, and that's just the way it is. But there is a presence in there. There is a presence in your body that makes you the person you are. So don't just take it for granted. Like I was saying before, I have seen people faint, and as far as I know, fainting is the same as falling unconscious. I'm sure many of you will agree. I have seen people faint while in school, while at work. Like there's been times during assembly when everyone's standing, and all of a sudden you see someone just fall back and they're caught. There's times at work you'd see someone on parade in the hot sun, and you just see that person fall and drop drop the weapon that they were holding. And they would be caught. They'd have to be caught and stuff, because if not, that person gets injured. So yeah, that I believe is actually becoming unconscious. And I before this experience this year, I never really thought about asking somebody what it felt like, what the experience was like. Because I mean, the person is just taken away, and you go about doing your business. Sometimes you don't even know who it was that fell unconscious. So you never really think to go and ask that person how they were doing. You just take it for granted that, okay, the person fainted and they went to the nurse or doctor, they got treated for whatever, and now they're fine. You never really think about, hey, this person actually fell unconscious. What happened? How? What did it feel like? I mean, they have a presence within them that makes them who they are. Could that presence have been impacted at all by them fainting? Could it be that that presence might have fallen out of their body? I mean, there's many different ways to think about it. I mean, there's many different ways to describe it. Might call it falling out of the body. Somebody might say something such as going into a tailspin, like that presence in your mind just goes into a tailspin and just falls out, and before you know it, you're unconscious. And like I invite people to comment, and if you have fainted before, if you have fallen unconscious before, leave a comment, because I mean, it may not be the same for everyone. The experience may not necessarily be the same. It may have may be a little bit different, and maybe by you contributing a little bit, you'll help give everybody a good understanding of what the experience is, if you understand what I mean. So let's talk about me. That's who I could talk about. That's the perspective I have. The one that I had quite a few of them within a couple of days of each other. Not within a couple of days, within one night I had, as far as I'm aware, I probably had about 10 seizures, and some of them I was partially conscious for. And I'm sure I injured my body in the process, like while going through them, because even now there's things that I could do before that's very painful for me now when I attempt them. So yeah, seizures have a serious impact on the body, a lot more than you would think. You'd think that, okay, this person might fall and they shake a little bit or whatever. Some people have some major muscle contractions that actually do damage to the body when they seize and stuff. And whether you'd like to believe it or not, that person may not even be aware of any of what is happening to them. So that's what I wanted to know. There are many cases. I don't just want to overgeneralize. I mean, some people may be partially conscious, but there are many cases like in mine when persons fully unconscious and they have no idea of what's happening to them. So yes, like I was saying, if any of you have had the experience, whether from fainting, having a seizure, or falling unconscious by any other means, whether it be, even if it might be from being injured or something, please share, because I'm sure it might be a little bit different depending on how it happens too. So let me talk about myself and what my seizures felt like when I actually fell unconscious. It's like I'm laying down and while laying down I feel dizzy. It's like I'm laying down and I'm kind of dizzy. Like it's almost like when you like if you drink a lot and you lay down and you look at the ceiling, you can see like the ceiling is spinning. It's almost something like that, but it's not exactly like that, because if you close your eyes, the experience almost goes away, but in some cases, depending on how much you drink, and I don't drink anymore. It's not like I had been drinking when I had my seizures. I had not been drinking anything. So, just so you know. And also, I do not use drugs, people. So I kind of, because of that, oh my gosh, some people. Because of that, I kind of have some expectations. I mean, I kind of have expectations that my body will act in a particular way. It will act. It will behave as expected, and I won't have any strange experiences going on. Because I mean, when people are using drugs, especially those that are psychoactive, they will experience some very strange things. Things that, well, are unexpected and very difficult to explain in terms of hallucinations or whatever they are. Seeing things that are not there, hearing things that are not there. Yeah, and because you're interfering with parts of your brain, they have an impact on some parts of your brain. So yeah, so like I was saying, I do not use drugs. I have never used anything but what was prescribed by a doctor, and like for illness, and I've never used anything that have caused me to even come close to passing out. So yeah, that's something that when it happens, it's totally natural and not because of anything I've taken. So yes. If you have had any of these experiences, feel free to post something, like share your details. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be an interesting read. So yeah, like I was saying, the way it felt for me was I'm laying there and I feel dizzy, like even with my eyes closed, I feel like I'm dizzy. It feels like I'm spinning, like I start spinning slowly, like off axis, like I'm off balance. And what I do, since I'm feeling like I'm going off balance, I kind of try to turn my body to adjust and to catch my balance and stuff. But when I do that, I, rather than catching my balance, feels like that presence inside of me, whatever the presence is, it just starts spinning faster and faster and faster, out of control. And I mean, it's a very scary experience. And that scary experience kind of causes you to, I think it's part of what causes you to seize, because you're trying to catch yourself and you can't. It's not working. And so yeah, so I guess that's what causes you to go into a seizure. You try, you scream, it's scary, and then there's nothing. It's like nothing. The next thing you know is that you're slowly waking up on a bed somewhere. For me, it was on a bed in the hospital. And I have no idea of how I got there. Like, I guess I have a slight idea of how I got there. I mean, the last thing I knew was that I was in an ambulance and I had people talking to me and whatever. There was one time I would go in and out of consciousness, and while that is happening, my body is tensing, like contracting and saying very strongly, like especially my abdominals and stuff, where like I believe they actually had to restrain my arms because I was flinging them out so wildly and stuff. They had to restrain, and I would tense up my torso so strongly that during that process I would be going in and out of consciousness. Like you see the very process I described earlier on about spinning and falling. Like if you've ever seen those movies where like you have a jet fighter and the pilot loses control of the plane and the plane goes into a tailspin and he has no control over it anymore and eventually goes and crashes. It's something similar to that, but you never really get to the point of crashing. You spin and all of a sudden there's nothing. I think that's when you lose consciousness. And this is my experience, right? Even though I say you, this is my experience, and it could be different for everybody. But that's what I experienced. So yeah, I really appreciate you guys watching this video. If you have any comments, if you have any questions as well, anything that you would like to know that I may have missed, because I'm sure I could have missed something when in what I was describing, what I was discussing. Yeah, there could be something that I missed. So if you have any questions, feel free. I'll do my best to answer. So thanks for watching. I'll try to make a lot more of these. I should have had more videos, but because I was dealing with something, I lost some of them, so sorry about that. I'll try to post this one as soon as possible. This one might be a little long since I'm going to be finishing before I get back to my starting point. I anticipate that this is going to be less than an hour, so it shouldn't be too bad. I know that it will take some time to post. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you come again. So thanks for watching, and I appreciate all your support. Okay, have a great day, guys. Peace out.